Hey, Wasabi. Welcome to Algin Gardens. If you can't tell, it is raining. And so that means kind of held off on doing the strawberries for today. But instead, I had another project, so I figured I'd share with you. I bought a Greenstalk for stalk for someone else, and they were unable to utilize it. They didn't move where they thought they would, which this was going to be their Christmas present for their porch. But instead of me returning it, I'm going to use it. And with that, I'm going to just show you how I filled it. We're going to put some transplants up here. This is kind of cool because it'll be on the porch. If you don't know, I'm in the country, and it is pitch black. And I'm not going out there after dark. The snakes and whatever animals are out there can have it then. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be able to plant some things that I may use often or may not feel like going all the way out there to go harvest for like a quick meal, and especially during the week. So I'm going to put some lettuces, some carrots, some beets, a bunch of different things. This is a 5-tier system, and give me a second and I will flip the camera around so that you can see it completely. So this is a 5-tier system. Forgive me because I did wet some of the dirt, so it kicked up mud-wise. And that's fine because, you know, it'll go into the other buckets. But it's kind of cool because each pouch is a deep pocket, so it won't have to be watered as often, and it's kind of going to be self-watering. And you kind of get the concept here if I zoom in a little bit. So this is moisture that's coming in. And there's each one of these have holes. So when you water up top in this basin, you just fill this basin with water, it'll trickle down to each tier, right? And on each tier, there is a cup holder that's going to hold water in it that's going to slowly release water into the plants. So from here, if I'm going to do my 511 mixture, I can pour that whole mixture into the top reservoir, and as it goes, it's going to drip down to the next one. Now I have the smaller versions of these, which I got from the Dollar Tree, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only problem, or the only thing that you run into, is that you have to water them more frequently because the containers are smaller. They don't hold or retain as much moisture. So hopefully this will be a great alternative. And this is 5 tiers. And if that helps you kind of get an idea of how deep these pockets are, I am 5'1", and this is about the same height as me. So even though they offer a 7 tier, yeah, we're not going to do that to ourselves. Cool thing is I have it on casters, so this can roll and be moved if I needed it to be without having to take the tiers off, which is kind of cool. I tested that theory, and you'll see from the place where I actually set it up from, in front of my patio door, all the way over here to the far right corner, I just wheeled it over and it was fine. And also this reservoir, once it gets too full, try to sneak you over, there is a hose here, if you can see that, that's going to, any excess is going to run off the porch, so it's not going to mess up my decking, which is kind of cool, and it's not going to pull over here, so shouldn't have a problem. The only thing that I may do is I may get, I think they offer a top or a cap for this water reservoir. I think I might get the cap just so that I don't run into having issues with mosquitoes building up here, or even birds making this their bird bath. While they are beautiful and I want them in the garden, I don't necessarily want them on my porch. So yeah, I might get that. But here's the video for me putting it together. Some of the things, I did use the Pro Mix, which was recommended, but I ran out. So I made the one, I only got 2 bags of the compressed Pro Mix, and I would have ended up with one empty tier. So I made my own mixture, and you'll see that shortly. In each tier, before I planted or before I stacked it, I also added amendments of some worm castings and some pretty much even organic slow release fertilizer so that it can last through the season. I will be giving it fish emulsion, which I showed you on another video. I use that quite often in the garden. But again, worm castings and slow release granular fertilizer has already been added, and we're off to the races. Hey, so in the comments, let me know what you think I should plant in here besides lettuce. Okay, besides lettuce, what else you think I should put in here? Give me your suggestions. And yeah, I'm take them into consideration and get them going. Doesn't matter. I'll start them from seed if you want. That's kind of cool. But yeah, here you go. hey. So the tower, the five tier tower, even though they recommend Pro Mix, I only bought 2 bags because I knew that I had some things that I could amend, some regular potting soil that I have. So that's what I'm going to do. What I have in this tub here is some coco coir. I get them in bricks. You hydrate them, and that will give the fluffiness that I need to the soil so that it's not so dense. And then with that, I'm going to mix in some regular potting mix that I have. I have bags just laying around. I'm going to actually put that through a sieve to get out some of the chunkier wood chips that are in there. This is vermiculite that I'm going to open up now, and that's going to help everything retain moisture. And then I have some extra perlite that I'm going to throw in the mix that's going to lighten up the soil, help it with drainage as well. So check it out. You're going to see me, I'm going to hydrate this brick now, and you've seen it on previous videos. I did use this same coco coir for the wood, for the worm vermicasting DIY that I did. But this stuff is great. If you don't have this, if you can get your hands on some peat moss, that's fine. I just have this around, so I'm going to use what I have. Here's a helpful tip that I just kind of want to go over that with you. Before I mix, perlite is wear a mask. Wear something over your face so that you don't inhale the dust from the perlite. The perlite itself is, once you start kicking it around, it's going to kick up that dust in your face. You really don't want to inhale that. I just want you to err on the side of caution. Let me come down a little bit because you can't see my face, so that's my fault. But because I am hydrating the coco coir, I'm not going to get as much dust in my face because I'm pouring it with water or into water, so that dust is not going to kick up the way it normally would. So just a precaution. Please take precautions when using this. And I'm outside, even better. Alright, so this is what we're left with after we've done all the mixing. Still got a little more mixing, but I just kind of want to show you the consistency. This is really good. Not a lot of chunks, wood chips and things in it. And just to give you an idea of, like, even though it's wet right now, it's holding itself, but it really is light in comparison. So yeah, that was a good call. So we're going to finish filling this up. We're going to get all the towers up, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to plant in there. So I know I did some of this fast or sped it up a little bit, but I kind of just wanted to show you that I'm filling these up really to there's a line that says fill soil to top, and these are the watering trays or whatever. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of putting an indentation in it so that this can sit kind of properly without getting stopped up and stuff, giving it some space that as I click them in, the soil level is up, but this kind of will sit in place and do what it needs to do. And these click here. So there's a way that you can make sure that it's sitting properly. So this is going to keep getting taller and taller, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I'm going to finish getting these up, and then we'll show you the finished product, okay?